Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another session of Cadets Prime, the Academy for Defense Aspirant. And first of all, I hope you had done your CDS paper quite well today. Okay. And I'm very sure that most of you would be able to clear it. Um, and then we'll move ahead with another part, another step in the selection process, that is the Service Selection Board. But one thing I want to make it very clear, and I couldn't lay stress more importantly that how important it is that even those of you who have appeared for CDS today and have done splendidly well and are very sure about the selection, uh, this is one kind of an examination where you cannot uh, where you cannot just relax or give up or um, tone down till your final selection has been made. The reason being that SSB is a very, very unpredictable kind of process where I have already discussed a part of SSB. Those who are new to this channel can go back to that video and say it. I explained the screening process, what happens in screening, and many a times very many deserving candidates do get screened out at that point of time. Uh, Another thing is that me personally, um, who had an ambition of joining the defense forces, who have cleared the CDS examination that you appeared for today, who has been recommended by SSB twice. So through my journey and because uh, of my entire friend group who are serving in different capacity in the different military forces, with their experiences, with my own experiences, I think it is um, there would be an edge. There would be a lot for you guys to gain from our experiences because again I have told you when it comes to SSB, the usual it's not a usual selection process. You need to understand that process, the requirement of it, and prepare accordingly. Okay. 10, 12 days, 15 days SSB classes can polish you when you're already prepared, but it cannot prepare you for the SSB process. So let me be very blunt about it. uh, Another point is that many of the institute that does provide the SSB process, okay, either there are people who have appeared for SSB multiple times who try to uh, guide you about the process, because being into SSB multiple times, they know what happens, okay, but they don't know what is supposed to be done. Otherwise, they would have got recommended, right? That is one point. Another point is there are also many institutes that employ ex-servicemen into the course, and there are two disadvantages that I see in that kind of a scenario. One being that it had been quite a long time since they were recommended at that point of time, and today they are very much aware about what the process is, what it demands, but they are not very aware about our generation. Okay, the things that we have to uh, go through, the competition that we have to face, the psychological process, the psychological thought process that we have. Okay, a particular age group is more adapted to understanding that particular age group. Okay. Another is many of them are from short service commission and uh, have because it's 15-year service. Okay. So based upon their experience in the defense forces, and they try to guide you to the best of their ability and intentions. But I think that SSD is much more uh, about it's not something objective. Okay, it's not something that you can put down the rules and the criteria for selection and it would adapt to all of you people. Okay, SSB is actually a very subjective process. Okay, the selection criteria, the expectation, the performance, it varies from person to person, from individual to individual. Okay, so that is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Now, today's session, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss uh, about the CDS, approaching CDS, that is CDS 1 2021, that would be held on 7th February 2021. Okay, and for today, we are going to keep our focus on that. There are two kinds of audience that we might be having today. One are those who have appeared for the examination today, or they might have appeared for the examination before this also, the PEDB CDS 1 2020. And there are also going to be students who are going for their first attempt in CDS 1 2021. Okay. Specifically, those students who are going to be in their final year. Okay. So they are eligible for it, as I've already said before. And I think that you should actually go for it. It gives you a huge advantage. I gave my CDS in my final year of engineering. Okay. And it gives you um, it gives you an advantage of around 6 to 8 months of extra service. Okay. And seniority matters a lot in defense forces at the later stages of your life when you are being considered for higher grade promotions. So keep that in mind. So let's start today directly about, we'll just discuss. I have made a PPT which might help you with it. Okay. And we can discuss about what the selection eligibilities are, what are the qualification needed, how many vacancies are there. The entire process we'll discuss in short, okay, so that you get an idea. And we'll be discussing mainly about the strategy, okay, that what the strategy for examination should be while you're trying to appear for CDS February 1. There is a reason why there is a difference between the preparation strategy when it comes to CDS 1 and CDS 2. The reason being that in CDS 1, when you're given CDS 1 and when you go for CDS 2, that is the first exam happens is in February, the next one is in November. Okay, so you have a lot of time. Okay, almost double. Okay, from February to November, you have 6 months to prepare for the examination. While when you're preparing, if you're given the CDS 2 examination and now you're preparing for CDS 1, those days go directly, it becomes directly half of the earlier preparation days. Okay, so the strategy cannot be the same. The strategy for both the examination needs to be drastically different, especially for those who are going for the CDS 1 for the first time. Okay, you cannot go with the strategy that you might have had if you were going for CDS 2. On CDS 1, definitely the result will be negative without fail. Okay, so what we are going to do is that we'll discuss through PowerPoint presentation what strategies you need to adhere to while preparing for CDS in February. Right? Let me share the screen and then we can start. Okay. So the main topic of discussion today is CDS 1 2021. So first of all, we'll discuss the key points for CDS 1 2021. The notifications are already out and you guys are supposed to fill it. Okay. We know that the conducting body is UPSC, that is Union Public Service Commission. Okay. Now it might be, for some of the students, it might be just an organization that is conducting examination. But if you want to be smart about your preparation, it makes a hell lot of a difference that who is conducting examination. Okay. Because this question came in my mind also, that why is UPSC conducting CDS and ND examination? Or how do they distinguish between which organization is going to conduct which examination? Why is UPSC not conducting bank PO examination or SSC examinations? Okay, so there is a difference of intentions. Okay, UPSC is picking you for services where extreme leadership qualities are being required. That is why no compromise can be made in the examination being conducted by the UPSC, which is a constitutional body. So it is quite independent. Okay, so no government interferences, no political interferences, nothing. Okay, it's a very, very, very amazing professional organization that works on it. The mode of application, yes, it's an online. Online, you can apply for the examination. The application fees would be 200, but some of the people are exempted from it. Okay. SC, STs, and female um, cadets or aspirants are uh, exempted from it. And the mode of examination is not online; it is offline. Okay. It has its own importance, it has its own comfort, and it is a good thing. Okay. The total vacancies for 2021 is 345. The examination, as you all know, happens twice a year, one in February and one is November. Around 2 years back, the examination was conducted in September. Okay, and that was, I thought that UPSC might make it permanent because it was a much more balanced academic year, where you would be getting sufficient time for preparing for CDS 1 as well as CDS 2. But they have gone back into the November. NDA is that way. Okay, you get proper time for preparing for NDA, but the same thing has not been provided to CDS, and I think that correction would be made sooner or later for that. And the type of examination, yes, what the process is, the CDS is a written examination. Um, and then after those cadets, those candidates who clear the CDS examination, they appear for service selection board. It is a two-stage process, that is screening and conference. It is a 5-day selection process for those who have cleared the day one, that is the screening process. Okay, and it is not just about interview, it is a psychological, your presence of mind, your group task, and interview being a part of it. Okay, so it is further divided into three categories, that is psychology, your GTO ground task, and your interview. Okay, there is a negative marking. Okay, 1/3 mark would be deducted for every wrong answer, and the selections we have already shared. And UPSC official website is the source for getting any clarity or applying for the examination and so on. For the entire process, UPSC would be your one-stop destination. Okay. Next thing is what is relevant regarding the CDS 2021. The application date have already started, and it would end on 17th November. Okay, and the date of examination is 7th February 2021. Do not wait for the last time. Okay, as soon as possible, please apply for the examination, because still we are not out of the corona days, and the center of examination would be quite important. Okay, which gets filled. Okay, there are a lot of centers. It is not going to be a problem. So make sure that you apply on time as soon as possible. Now let us talk about the qualification. These small details are quite important. I've seen many students who do not have a clarity. Many students opt for OTA not knowing that they were eligible for IMA, just because they did not have a maths background. Okay, just because they thought that, okay, there is a maths paper over there, there's no maths paper in OTA, and they by default come to a conclusion. Okay, and which has a life-changing effect on their career. Okay. So the first thing is Indian Military Academy. Education qualification is graduation. That's it. Even if you did not have physics or maths in your graduation, okay, it is not an issue. The point is that you will have to give the maths examination. Okay. And then again, some of the students would be, yeah, obviously, if sir, if we were good in maths, we would have taken maths as our subject during the course of our graduation. Look, when it comes to CDS examination, as I said in the earlier video also, those students who are coming on our platform for the first time, please go through CDS orientation lecture you might find on the channel. Okay. The maths in CDS is elementary maths. Okay, it's quite easy maths. It's 10th level mathematics, and you can easily, by putting some effort, okay, you can very easily handle that. Okay, but you need to know yourself. You need to be very well self-aware about yourself, and then you need to decide whether you will be going just for OTA, or you might also want to aspire for Indian Military Academy. That is there. Okay. Then for Indian Naval Academy and the Air Force Academy, for both of this, okay, in your 10th and 12th, you need to have physics and maths as your basic subjects. Okay, and for Naval Academy, you need to be an engineering graduate. You need to be that. It is compulsory because of the kind of technology that they have to deal with. Okay, so that is indispensable at that point of time. And the Air Force Academy, you can be a graduate, but you need to have your 10th and 12th, you need to have physics and maths as your basic subject. Meaning that you might be MSc, you might be BSc. Okay, but in your schooling days, you need to have physics and maths as your subject. The Officer Training Academy is the only platform in CDS through which female aspirants can join the defense forces. The other examination that we'll be going for would be AFCAT, Air Force Common Admission Test. Okay. So there are two entries into OTA. One is for men and one is for women. Okay. So this is the basic thing that you need to know. But just be aware. What I wanted to stress here is, I'm really sorry, that even if you did not have maths and physics as your background, if you still want to aspire for Indian Military Academy, you can still go for it. Okay. Now the age qualification, it's quite important. Many of the students do not misunderstand it or do not consider it properly while applying. Look, when you talk about the age limit, it is not based upon the date of examination. It is based upon date of joining. ओके तो कई बच्चे हैं जो कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं कि ओके आई स्टिल हैव एज बाय द टाइम ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन बीइंग कंडक्टेड, वो 7 फेब को लेकर काउंट करने लगेंगे जब वो सिर्फ एज नंबर को देख रहे हैं, ठीक है, एज लिमिट को देख रहे हैं. सो कंफ्यूजन ना रहे उसके लिए ऑलवेज फोकस अपॉन द डेट एंड ईयर दैट हैज बीन मेंशन्ड. Okay, for example, for Indian Military Academy, Indian Naval Academy, the age would be 2nd Jan 1998 to 1st Jan 2003. Okay, for the Air Force Academy, the lower limit goes 1 year ahead. It is from 20 to 24. Okay, for Officer Training Academy, the ceiling, the upper limit would be 1 year more. That is 25, from 19 to 25, and it would be same for men and women both. Okay, so before you go ahead with this kind of an examination, this kind of an examination is, or any kind of an examination for that matter, is till you achieve your objective, okay, till you get selected, clearing one part of it or second stage of it, and not like, for example, you cleared the CDS, you cleared the SSB, but you couldn't clear the medical. Okay, and that is very heartbreaking. Okay, from my personal experience, I'll say that because I've been recommended twice and I had the eyesight issue because of which I couldn't join the Air Force. And that was my sole objective of joining the military at that point of time, being a pilot, for which I was recommended. And what I mean to say is that be very self-aware about the broad medical requirements that they have mentioned. You can find it on the Army, Air Force, and Navy websites also. Okay, for example, your height, your weight, okay, color blindness, eyesight, and those kind of things, that broad things, okay, that you need to be aware of. Another thing is, don't go too much into medical. I had many students who used to be like, they had presumed that they had knock knees just because they would stand, and if their knees are touching, they'll say, oh sir, we have knock knees. There is a very different way that the military checks you. Okay, so please don't presume those things. Yes, color blindness might be a thing that is non-compromisable, and it is whether you get it tested in a civilian hospital or be you get tested in a military hospital, it won't change, and it's a permanent rejection. Okay, uh, similarly, your height, it's not going to vary. You will be as tall as you are now. So be very aware about the broad criteria, but do not go too deep into it. ठीक है, वरना उसके वजह से you'll start presuming that this is not okay with me. For example, I'll tell you this. My nose had always been a little bent. So this was the only thing I was worried about. I never used to have specs. I never had an eyesight issue. For the first time during the medical only, I was informed that I had a very slight eyesight, and for pilots, eyesight is not acceptable at all. तो अगर तुम्हारा 0.5 भी है तो ये मत सोचो कि बहुत कम है, चश्मा उतार के चले जाओगे तो पायलट बना देंगे. भाई, आप लोग को सिविलियन और बाकी जगहों पे 6/6 आईसाइट चेक होती है, वहां पे वो लोग 6/5 चेक करते हैं. दैट इज बेटर देन नॉर्मल. ओके, तो इस तरीके से मत जाना प्रिज्यूम करके, बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. अगर आपका 0.5 है, आप कुछ भी कर दो, आपका फ्लाइंग में नहीं होगा, आप मेडिकली आउट. ठीक है, बट यू हैव ऑप्शन फॉर आर्मी. ओके, तो यू कैन फोकस ऑन दैट आल्सो, बिकॉज उसमें तो -3 तक परमिसिबल रहती है. आईसाइट इशू आर्मी में जनरली प्रॉब्लम होता नहीं है. सेकेंड चीज है, रिक्वायरमेंट्स बहुत डिफरेंट होती है. द वे द एयरफोर्स conducts the medical test, because I went under medical at Subroto Park, at Army Base Hospital also, and research and referral also. There is a difference between the entire infrastructure itself. When they are testing you for pilots, okay, they are going to be very thorough. But when it goes for the army, okay, there are a lot of things that might not be okay for the pilot, but it is okay, it is acceptable as an infantry or an army officer. Okay, so there is that difference. So don't start presuming things at that point of time. Okay. Next is the vacancies this year. Okay, Indian Military Academy Dehradun has 100. Indian Naval Academy would have 26. Air Force Academy Hyderabad, that is Hakinpet, 32. OTA 170 for men and 17 for women. if any of you at this point of time इस नंबर को देख के अगर आप में से किसी को भी ऐसा एहसास हुआ है कि अरे यार ये तो बहुत कम है, ठीक है, जैसे द गर्ल्स हु आर एस्पायरिंग फॉर ओटी इफ दे थिंक कि 17 तो बहुत कम है, या जो इंडियन नेवी नेवी ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं उनके 26 कम है, या एयरफोर्स एकेडमी के 32 कम है, मैं आपका भी ये डर मिटा देता हूँ. When I got recommended, there were total vacancies of 30 for the pilots in Indian Air Force. Only 20 were recommended from all over India. Okay, 10 तो वहीं खाली चले गए. Okay, in medical, I guess only 3 were medically fit to join the academy. 30 vacancies, 3 joined the academy. I am not saying the rest of the 20, 17s got rejected and went out. No, most of them, barring 3, I guess, all the other were given the option for joining Indian Military Academy. Okay, and many were offered the option of joining the Air Force Academy as an aeronautical engineer who had an engineering background and who had cleared the EKT test, which was conducted in SSB itself. Now it is being conducted through AFCAT examination. तो मैं आपको ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ कि इन सभी में वैकेंसीज वेकेंट जाती है, ये सीटें नहीं भरने वाली, ठीक है. तो ये आपकी आपके दिमाग की सोच से बिल्कुल निकाल दो कि ये सीटें बहुत कम है, क्योंकि इतनी भी नहीं भर पाती. सेकेंड चीज, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि इससे ये और प्रोसेस डिफिकल्ट हो गया है, प्लीज मेरी बात मानिए. आई हैव बीन थ्रू इट, आई हैव क्लियर्ड इट, आई हैव बीन ऑन द मेरिट नॉट वंस ट्वाइस, आई वाज इन टॉप 10 मेरिट. ओके, let me tell you this thing very frankly, it is a very easy process. It is not a kind of other examination based, intellect based process. Okay, they want to see your overall personality, your common sense, your thought process, your behavior. Okay, और इन सब चीजों के मार्क्स होते हैं, ठीक है. सेकेंड चीज है, आप में से कई हैं जिनका एजुकेशनल या एकेडमिक बैकग्राउंड बहुत स्ट्रांग है और कई हैं उनका बहुत मीडियोकर है. प्लीज आप अपनी साइकोलॉजी को अपना दुश्मन बनाना बंद करिए. When we went over there, I remember there were 7 people from IITs. Okay, and me myself being engineer got very much intimidated. आज तो IITs तब भी बहुत ज्यादा है, आज से 10 साल पहले IIT की वैल्यू कुछ अलग ही थी, ठीक है. Later on, after 2012 or 2010, more and more IITs and AIMS got created, and that is a good thing. But because of the lack of number of colleges, the examination was much difficult at that point of time. Okay, so I was very impressed. I got intimidated also when I reached the center and there were 7 people from different IITs. 6 of them got screened out on day 1. तो मेरा प्रोजेडाइज जो प्रोसेस था वो मेरे को वहीं पे हिट कर गया कि दिस इज नॉट ए नॉर्मल प्लेस, ठीक है. उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है आप कहाँ से आए हो, आपने 95% लेकर आए हो या 60% लेकर आए हो, ठीक है. दे वांट टू सी व्हाट यू आर. ओके, दे विल आस्क यू क्वेश्चन दैट व्हाई योर स्कोर्स आर लो, एंड योर आंसर्स इज व्हाट इज गोइंग टू डिफाइन यू. ओके, so they don't have any prejudices as such. So it's a beautiful process. Okay, आप अगर आप इन वजह से आप अपने आप को रीजन दे रहे हो कि ये रीजन हो सकता है मैं रिजेक्ट हुआ, तो रीजन आप खुद ही थे, वो रीजन नहीं था, आपने उसको रीजन बना लिया, उनके लिए रीजन नहीं था. Okay, so this vacancies I didn't even want to put this page because it's irrelevant. 345 हो या 45 हो, okay, आपके चांसेस उतने ही सिलेक्ट होने के, ठीक है. तो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट एट ऑल. Now let's talk about the, most of you must know about it, and those of you who do know about it, please bear with me for a minute so that I can just freshen it up. 3 sections are there in examination, 2 hours, 6 hours paper is there, 1 hour gap is there, so a total of 8 hours in a day. It is a very hectic process. Okay, they even giving the examination, just going through the examination itself is challenging. Okay, it's not an easy thing because you are not used to it, giving 6 hours examination, 8 hours being in an examination environment. Okay, so that is what one thing that most of the people, most of the students during their preparation do not focus upon. But you need to be very prepared about the you need to be um, you need to be in that mode. Okay, you need to give mock test, you need to be you need to have that habit of having that patience and getting your brain to work for such a category of examination hours. Okay, so get used to it. That is what is needed. before the examination. That is not something that we'll be worrying about it now, but later stage, after January, this is something that you need to keep in your mind. Okay, so mock test ऐसा नहीं करना है आज इंग्लिश दे दिया कल जीके दे दिया परसों एलिमेंट्री मैथ्स कर लिया, नहीं, बिल्कुल उसी पैटर्न में कम से कम आपको 3 बार टेस्ट सॉल्व करना है. Okay, so that you get your body, your mind get accompanied to it, acclimatized to it, and you get to know the process. Okay, and you get used to it. That is one thing that is needed. I've just put in the syllabus what are there for all the 3 subjects, because I wanted to make sure that it's broad based and not just focused upon the GS section. Okay. English is one subject that, okay, the technicalities, direct speech, indirect speech, part of speech, antonyms, synonyms, and all this vocabulary and things are there. If you are, if you had a background of English medium, if you have been used to reading and communicating, I don't think that there is a requirement for you to specifically prepare for this subject. Okay. If you are used to it, yes, you do. Even if it's okay, if you are not very much aware about the technicalities in grammar, it's fine. I've always scored most in English in my examination, and I have never been into technicalities in grammar. Okay, but just because of my reading habit and my communications, I do get to know. Okay, just if you want to know what is the error in the statement, there are technicalities on which the error can be found. कि इसके पीछे ये नहीं आ सकता है या preposition से end नहीं हो सकता है जो भी है. But if you are used to your fluency is good and you have a reading habit, आपको पढ़ के तुरंत पता चल जाता है कि यहाँ पे कुछ अलग साउंड कर रहा है. Okay, so intuition के basis पे भी English is quite workable. And very important, all 3 section equal importance. Please prioritize मत करना, लटक जाओगे, क्योंकि आपको मैक्सिमम स्कोर करना है, क्योंकि सीडीएस का रिटर्न का और एसएसबी का स्कोर कंबाइन होकर आपकी मेरिट लिस्ट बनेगी. ठीक है, तो आई डोंट वांट एनी वन ऑफ यू टू गेट मेरिट आउट. एनडीए में वो प्रोबेबिलिटी ज्यादा होती है मेरिट आउट की, सीडीएस में कम होती है, रिकमेंडेशन सीडीएस से कम होते हैं एज कम्पेयर टू एनडीए. So that is one of the major advantage of NDA. Another is mathematics. These are the broad areas. Okay, very easy mathematics is there. Okay, NDA mathematics is quite technical, but CDS it is very elementary. Algebra, trigonometry, mensuration, geometry, statistics, and number system. Okay, and arithmetic ability. They're very easy paper. If you don't have a maths background and if still you are dedicating 2 hours every day from today itself on mathematics, you'll clear it very easy. Okay, just by self study also. Okay, but if you have proper guidance in subjects like maths and GS, it helps a lot. Okay, in English also, if you do not have proper confidence, if you do not come from and if you come from a Hindi medium background, first of all, your biggest enemy is your psychology. Okay, you go into an inferiority complex, दिमाग में मुश्किल कर लेते हो आप चीजों को. Apart from that, it is quite easy preparing for the CDS written examination. Okay. General awareness. This becomes one of the most focused subject while preparing for the examination. The reason being, there are a lot of diversity in it. There are a lot of subjects in it, and there are a lot of subjects from arts and humanity background that you're not aware about. Many of the students. Okay, but here is where the entire difference in the examination is going to be. When it comes to English, when it comes to mathematics, the only difference might be that if someone is from a professional graduation, okay, engineer है कोई, तो उसको मैथ्स और बाकी में एडवांटेज मिल जाएगा. ठीक है, अदरवाइज बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं खींच पाओगे. इधर पे मेजर डिफरेंस आता है क्योंकि लेवल प्लेइंग फील्ड हो जाती है. आप इंजीनियर हो या आप किसी भी बैकग्राउंड से हो, ये आपके लिए बराबर की रेस है. ठीक है, ये आपकी पढ़ाई पे पूरी डिपेंडेंट है, जो कि रिसेंट पढ़ाई है, एग्जाम स्पेसिफिक पढ़ाई है. ठीक है, मैथ्स और इंग्लिश तो आपका पूरे लाइफ में आपका कैसा रहा है उसका काफी बड़ा रोल उसमें आ जाता है. तो यहाँ पे आपको बहुत अच्छे से खींचना है. ओके, इंडियन हिस्ट्री, एंशिएंट, मिडिवल, मॉडर्न, ऑल 3 पार्ट ऑफ इट. इंडियन ज्योग्राफी, ओके, current affairs are there. Indian art and culture is there. Indian economy is there. General polity, political science, that is the Indian constitution being the part of it. Your science subject, physics, chemistry, biology would be there. Okay, defense related as new questions would be asked, like defense exercises or different defense equipments and war machines that are being built. That might be asked. Environment is a very important subject when it comes to UPSC. Okay, sociology, and sociology as in not the subject in technical sense, but your society in general. Okay, your poverty rate, your tribes and all, those are important. Award, sports, and book. Okay. Now, when it comes to current affairs, you need to be, that is going to be a continuous process. If you have a habit of reading newspapers, it's fine. If you don't have a habit of it, or you have not done it till now, and now you're getting nervous that obviously for the next 2 or 3 months, the question would not be asked all from that. Previous current events would also be asked past 4, 5, 6 months. So you can go for one good UPSC based current affair magazine. That would be more than it. Okay, for this kind of an examination. बहुत ज्यादा करंट अफेयर पे स्ट्रेस मत कर देना, क्योंकि इनपुट आप बहुत ज्यादा डाल दोगे, आउटपुट उतना नहीं आएगा. बेसिक सब्जेक्ट्स को स्ट्रॉन्ग करो. इसमें इंडियन हिस्ट्री को, ज्योग्राफी को और पॉलिटी को सबसे पहले पकड़ो. ठीक है, क्योंकि इस सब्जेक्ट्स में आपको बहुत बार रिवीजन करना पड़ेगा. ये ध्यान रखना, बहुत ज्यादा किताबें मत पढ़ना. Read the same book again and again. Okay, I've also bifurcated two strategy for those people who are appearing for the first time and those who have appeared already. Okay, so let's see that. 75 days. I put 75 days as per because we are going to start a batch from 16th November for CDS 2021. Okay, and it will be very, very precise batches. And as far as my academic years have been concerned, the written examination, I've never been bothered about it. Okay. Almost all of my students have been very easily been able to clear this examination, no matter what time they had. Okay. You just need to believe in yourself. That is my job, to motivate and inspire you. That is the best thing that I would be giving you, apart from my knowledge that I would be sharing. Okay. So those who are attempting for serious examination for the first time, what your strategy is going to be. Okay. You need to be very strategic with your preparation. इस समय आपको वो भेड़ चाल में नहीं चलना है कि जो किताब है सारा पूरा कोर्स कंप्लीट करेंगे, हर चीज पढ़ेंगे, बायोलॉजी 6 से चालू कर दी पढ़नी. नहीं हो पाएगा. ठीक है, अभी आराम से आपका क्लियर होगा. आप मेरे हिसाब से चलिए, मतलब 100%. इफ यू गो अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट आई से, 100% आई कैन गिव इन यू इन राइटिंग आल्सो दैट यू विल क्लियर द एग्जामिनेशन. बिकॉज हियर द रिटन एग्जामिनेशंस मेन इंटेंशन इज कि उन बच्चों को छांटा जाए हु कैन अपीयर फॉर एसएसबी. So they are not asking or expecting a very high academic performance. Okay, very average student they are asking for. This is just a filtering process. Okay, in defense language it's called putting the dogs out of the race. Okay, so uh, what you need to do who are appearing for the first time, by November 30 you complete all the NCRTs related to your subject, be it be polity, be it be economics. The reason being that because you're giving it for the first time, and suddenly if you pick the primary book, okay, for example, if you pick directly Lakshmikant, it would still be easy, but it depends upon your psychology. Okay, your confidence, the way you approach the book, it might vary. Okay, अचानक से आप लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ना चालू करोगे, हो सकता है you lose the interest in that particular subject, or you might find it difficult. Okay, so what you do is NCRT are the beautifully crafted book. They are Bible for UPSC examination. So go through NCRT, but you need to do it in next 20 days. Okay, start now, by the way. And second deadline would be December 30. After November 30, next one month, you need to go to your primary books. Okay, for most of them, your primary book would be still be NCRT, but precise. For example, for geography, your 11th and 12th geography would be your primary books. Okay, the environment of India, physical geography of India would be your primary for book regarding Indian geography. But before November 30, you can go for lower classes geography also. It will also give you a proper concept clarity. The making of the constitution, okay, and polity NCRT, that would help you create a base in a very layman language, because polity is something that most of the students have not read. Okay, and they might not find it interesting if they do not have a clarity, which is true for all the subjects. अगर आपको क्लैरिटी नहीं है, समझ में नहीं आ रहा, तो आपको इंटरेस्ट नहीं आएगा उस सब्जेक्ट में. ठीक है, तो बहुत इंटरेस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से आप पढ़ना. उसके बाद प्राइमरी बुक आपकी लक्ष्मीकांत रहेगी. ठीक है, कई जगह मैंने देखा है कि वो सिर्फ कह रहे हैं कि सिर्फ एनसीईआरटी पढ़ो. एनसीईआरटी इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी इनफ. ओके, इट यूज्ड टू बी इनफ अर्लियर बट नॉट नाउ. सीडीएस हैज इवॉल्व्ड इटसेल्फ. ओके, और क्वेश्चन काफी काफी टेक्निकल आ रहे हैं आजकल. तो इफ यू वांट टू बी वेल प्रिपेयर्ड, यू नीड टू go for the primary books, which will be discussing later on, that each subject what you need to do. For example, modern history, your Bipin Chandra NCRT, it is good. It will help you with most of the question, but not all the question. For all the question, you need to go for a spectrum. Okay, so you need to have proper what, because if you talk about Bipin Chandra NCRT, the tribal rewards that took place, they are not covered in the in a proper way. But spectrum does that. The different commission that was sent. Okay, Hunter Commission was sent for which among the following. Such kind of question might be asked, and that things are not covered in NCRT books. So after taking both the books, you need to read Bipin Chandra Modern History, and then you need to go for Spectrum. The third deadline would be after your December 30th. That would be your January month. Okay, you need to cover entire current affair magazines. If you're going for magazines, in that case, mock test and revision of your primary books as many time as possible. At least before you appear for the examination, every subject should be revised at least 4 times. Revision is everything. Okay. Uh, Most of you might have known that if they have appeared for other examination. For example, if you've read Lakshmika, even if you read it the 10th time, तो 10वीं बार पढ़ोगे तब भी कोई नई चीज आप नोट कर जाओगे. ठीक है, तो आपका आपका कंसंट्रेशन, आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द एग्जामिनेशन, आपका उस टाइम पे प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड बराबर नहीं होता है. एवरी टाइम यू आर रीडिंग थ्रू डिफरेंट डिफरेंट वे. तो एक दो बार आप पूरी बुक को ऐसे पढ़िए जैसे पहली बार पढ़ रहे हैं, तीसरी बार बुक को उल्टा पढ़ना चालू कर दीजिए, क्योंकि एंड में आते आते यू स्टार्ट लूजिंग एनर्जी. इस बार उल्टा करिए, ठीक है, उसके बाद वापस से सीधा पढ़िए. 4 बार आपको पढ़ना ही है. ठीक है, दूसरी बार से आप मार्किंग चालू करोगे. फर्स्ट टाइम वेन एवर यू रीड द बुक फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, नेवर मार्क. रीजन बीइंग दैट यू आर नॉट अवेयर अबाउट व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट. इफ यू आर अवेयर अबाउट इट, ओनली देन स्टार्ट मार्किंग. ठीक है, पहली बार पढ़ने के बाद November 30 जो आपकी डेडलाइन है, जो फर्स्ट डेडलाइन है, उसके बाद व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू डू इज यू आर गोइंग टू सॉल्व द प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस. You are not trying to solve it or answer it correctly. You are just going to go through every question and every option. उससे आपको पता चलेगा कि क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है. उसके बाद आपको ये चीज भी पता चलेगी कि जो चीज आपने जब फर्स्ट रीडिंग में आप पढ़ रहे थे तो ऐसे पढ़ के छोड़ दिया कि ये इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, उसी पे क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है. ठीक है, तो आपका पर्सपेक्टिव बिल्ड होना चालू होगा कि किस तरीके से पढ़ना है, क्या पढ़ना है. उससे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट ये होता है कि क्या छोड़ना है. ठीक है, तो वो चीज पता कैसे चलेगी. This is how you're going to know about it, right? Now, those who are repeaters who have appeared for the examination today or have appeared for the examination before this, okay, by December 10, you're going to cover those subjects where you could not cover during your attempt this time. Okay, for example, you might have left ancient history or medieval history because it wasn't that important and that many questions were not going to be there. But you are going to minimize your chances of being selective as far as subjects is concerned. उस पूरे कोर्स को कंप्लीट करना है. पिछले बार आप नहीं कर पाए, कोई बात नहीं. सबसे पहले जो टॉपिक्स आपने आर्ट एंड कल्चर मान लीजिए आपने नहीं करा, उसको कवर करिए. एंशिएंट नहीं करा, उसको कवर करिए. मिडिवल, उसको कवर करिए. अब एक भी क्वेश्चन नहीं छोड़ना है. अब वी आर गोइंग टू टारगेट द एंटायर पेपर, each and every part of it. Okay, we are not going to be picky now. That is for first timers who are going to appear in 75 days. Okay, but those who are repeaters, no, you have enough time. You've already prepared. Don't lose time right now. Don't make that blunder. Okay, don't lose that pace. आपको ब्रेक नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, ब्रेक आपको 2 3 दिन का चाहिए होता है. उससे आप जो ज्यादा लोग हैं, आपको वापस उस टाइमलाइन में आने में दिक्कत होगी, उस साइकिल में, उस माहौल में आने में दिक्कत होगी. ब्रेक कभी अच्छा नहीं होता है. ये सबसे गलत बात कही जाती है, राइट? Second deadline would be your January. The entire syllabus that you have prepared during your previous attempt, you need to cover all of them, and you are going to cover it as if you are reading it for the first time. Okay. Then after that, you'll do the mock test, current affairs, and multiple revision you'll go for. Okay, and you'll be very very comfortable. Okay, you won't even feel like you won't have any problem of anxiety a day before the examination. Okay, you'll take only your black pen, your admit card, and you'll go to the center. You won't even feel like taking any material with you, right? Now let's have an idea about what the previous year cutoffs were so that you get an idea. Okay, for IMA in 2019 it was 116, naval it was 105, air force it was 129, OTA is quite less, that is 78. That is one thing that you need to know. Okay, अगर आपका मैथ्स का बैकग्राउंड नहीं था and still you wanted to go for IMA and you put it as your preference, then you'll have to clear 116 cutoff, not 78. ये एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन बन जाता है। कई बच्चे जो चाहते थे वो ये कट ऑफ देखकर बोलते हैं कि नहीं ओटीआई ठीक है, ठीक है, इसका कट ऑफ काफी ज्यादा जा रहा है। वो कट ऑफ 116 भी आप सच बताओ क्या ज्यादा है? It's not a big cutoff. It's a very low cutoff and it can easily, very easily be achieved. सेक्शनल कट ऑफ बस आपको पार करना है इंग्लिश मैथ्स और जीएस का। जो बच्चे सेक्शनल कट ऑफ पार कर जाते हैं जनरली वो एक या दो सब्जेक्ट, जैसे किस कोई सेक्शनल कट ऑफ सारे तीनों सब्जेक्ट का पार कर गया, उसकी इंग्लिश स्ट्रेंथ होगी तो वो इंग्लिश में इतना स्कोर कर लेगा कि ओवरऑल कट ऑफ पार कर जाएगा। कोई होगा जिसकी जीएस कमजोर है लेकिन मैथ्स बहुत तेज है और इंग्लिश भी थोड़ी कमजोर है, वो मैथ्स में इतना स्कोर मार जाएगा कि वो कट ऑफ क्लियर कर देगा। सबसे पहले तीनों की सेक्शनल कट ऑफ निकालिए, उसके बाद आपका रिटर्न का कट ऑफ निकल ही जाएगा। इतना कम कट ऑफ है, इट इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट। द कट ऑफ हैज बीन वेरी सिमिलर in 2018 also. It's not varying too much. Okay, the Air Force cutoff does goes a bit higher because of the requirement of the Air Force are more technical, okay, more intellect based, uh, as far as more challenging when it comes to uh, the entire process. Okay, so again the cutoff is 118, 98, 138, 69, 69, 78 कम था, ये तो 69 पे चला गया, ठीक है, and it is going to be somewhat near one. Okay, and it's not going to vary much if you are preparing honestly. uh, Sometimes students come to me and they said sir we prepared but we couldn't clear NDA, or we prepared sir we couldn't clear CDS. मैं bluntly तुरंत उनको जवाब देता हूँ कि झूठ बोलते हो, ठीक है, क्योंकि ये वो एग्जाम, दिस इज अ काइंड ऑफ एन एग्जामिनेशन which if you are preparing there is not even a margin that you can fail this examination. Okay, so don't do that. Prepare very honestly. Next, after that, we'll go for SSB. After CDS thing is over, we have already put out a video for SSB and explaining the entire process. And I will be putting in more videos regarding the SSB, all in a very broad and elaborate way about the various days and various processes that you have to go through. Okay, so I hope that you have understood how you are supposed to, the broad guidelines of the CDS 2021. More extensive classes would follow from 16th of November. We would be starting a batch for CDS. Okay, and it would be quite elaborate, and I'm sure that it would help you. But before that, you start your preparation from today itself. Okay, start planning yourself, make a timetable. Okay, 3 महीना अपनी लाइफ डिसिप्लिन पे कर लोगे तो बहुत ज्यादा आपसे डिमांड नहीं करी जा रही है। 3 months is more than enough that you'll be able to clear this examination. Okay. And the process is beautiful. You're going to enjoy SSB. I enjoyed SSB. In those 5 days, I made lifetime friends. Okay. After that, being recommended, going to medical, staying in the same room and all. Okay. It's a beautiful process. And finally, when you join the academy, it's a different world in itself. Okay. So don't take it casually. Please respect the examination, respect yourself, respect your ambition. And it is going to be a very easy journey. Okay. So yeah, so that is all. And if there is any confusion, you can directly post a comment. And I would also be sharing links of my social media accounts, which have recently come in because I'm never into social media. But I think that platform would help us to communicate, exchange ideas, okay, and help each other to achieve our objectives. Okay. Good night and Jai Hind, everyone.